You are Locked On Hurricanes POSTCAST. Part of Locked On Sports Miami on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Oh, baby. Dun, 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 M-I-A-M-I. Fight, fight, fight. C-A-N-E-S Canes. Yeah, baby. Welcome to the first episode of your Locked On Canes postcast for the 2024 season. I am Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease. Proud alum. It's all about the U going to Gainesville and smoking the Gators off the field today. What a win for the Miami Hurricanes to open the season. Third year for Mario Cristobal. Opens like a charm. 41-17. They pound the Gators in the swamp. The season is underway. Number 19 Miami looking like a powerhouse. Maybe, dare I say, the best team in the ACC right now. My name is Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease. It's your Locked On Canes postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. And I want to tell you right now that we are pumped to have you here every single day. I want to thank you for making Locked On Canes postcast your first listen. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. And today's episode of our show is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy, man. That's what I've had watching this game and being here all day long. 5 Hour Energy fixes tired fast. That's right. With zero sugar and a convenient portable size, it's the perfect pick-me-up for getting stuff done. That's right. Go to 5hourenergy.com. Use the promo code LOCKEDONCFB to receive 20% off your order. This offer is only valid until September 30th on one order and cannot be used with another promotion. Go to 5hourenergy.com. What a performance by the Miami Hurricanes today. Outstanding, legitimately, in this ball game. And any questions that you had about Cam Ward, any questions that you had about him coming into this game have been answered, and they have been answered emphatically. The transfer coming in with all those questions from Washington State, all the starts. He didn't have an offensive line. The road record at Washington State was not good. He had lost 4 in a row, and he was 2-5 on the road last year. But Cam Ward came out today, 321 yards, 3 touchdown passes, ice water in his veins, making play after play. And why not behind an offensive line like that? He didn't get touched in this game. The offensive line making holes. They literally could have driven all the way back down Florida Turnpike to Miami through some of those holes tonight in Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. The worst home opener for Florida all the way back to 1991. They had won 33 in a row at home. 41 points put up by Miami, the most the Gators have allowed in a home opener in the history of Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. The swamp, the dump, the orange eyesore that sticks out of the earth and just should not even be there anymore. And the Canes absolutely mauled the Gators in that pit today. An unbelievable 500-plus yards of offense. They hold the Gators to about 260 maybe, and 71 of them came on one touchdown run in the second quarter. Ward threw a pick that led to a field goal earlier in the game. Otherwise, it would have been 50-6, and it might have been a shutout. I mean, it was one of those games where Ward just all over the map, man. I mean, just incredible when you look at what he's done. What he's done, man. His numbers just off the hook today. 26 of 35 for 385. 26 of 35 for 385. 380 in his first game. In his first game on the road against Florida. You got FAMU coming up next. You got Ball State after that. USF after that. Then I think Louisville and then Florida State. It becomes almost a one-game season if you don't trip up and lose a game that you're not supposed to lose until later on down the line. You know, I mean, obviously the conference champions get in no matter what, and the top 12 teams. But if they win out, they will be there. And here's the question, and we will talk about this throughout the show today. Does the University of Miami, do the Hurricanes finally have, since 1990, not had a quarterback drafted in the top 3 rounds? Are the Miami Hurricanes finally back as quarterback U? Do we finally have a great QB playing under center in Coral Gables? And I think the answer is yes. I think the answer is yes with Cam Ward. I mean, that was just a phenomenal game. I don't think I saved the YouTube description. There we go. That should be up now and updated, man, on the fly here. We're going to be here after every game, but what a game, man. I remember, and I talked to Alex Dono. Shout out to Alex. We got something from him coming up a little bit later in the show, the host of Locked On Canes every day here on the Locked On Podcast Network. We talked to each other. You can see the YouTube shorts before the game today, and Alex talked about the keys to the game, and he talked about Cam Ward. I asked him specifically about Ward, and we'll play this later in the show, and his lack of success on the road at Washington State. Alex was dead on with his answer there, dead on with his keys to the game, and they all came through. So you're going to hear that from Alex Dono, and you definitely make sure you check out Locked On Canes every single day right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, Locked On Sports Miami, plus wherever you get your podcasts on the audio side as well. And the audience is swelling today. A huge win for the Miami Hurricanes, and let's take a look. I mean, the scoring, right? I mean, and Florida got on the board earlier than they should have, and that was just a bad play by Ward, a bad throw against the grain, against his body, across his body, throws a pick, leads to a field goal, and then they get that long touchdown run. If not for those two things, it would have been 50-6 in this game. And the touchdown drives from Cam Ward in this game, okay? The touchdown drives. Are you ready to hear the plays and the yards on the Miami Hurricanes drives today? It looked like a pro offense. Mario Cristobal in his third year. The transfer portal was huge for Miami with Ward and Martinez and all these great players. Lofton coming in from these huge schools like, Oregon State and Washington State and Houston. Well, how about this? Are you ready? 11 plays, 84 yards on their first possession of the game. 5 minutes, 39 seconds. Ward to McCormick for 9 yards, the 26-year-old. What a story he is. Check it out. He was on game day today, right? It's 7-zip. Ward throws the pick. They kick the field goal at 7-3 at the end of one. We kick a field goal, 9 plays, 70-yard drive. So you got 11 for 84, 9 for 70, touchdown field goal. All right, next drive for Miami, the shortest drive of the day. 4 plays, 58 yards in 123, a 10-yard run for Mark Fletcher Jr. Then Johnson runs it 71 yards for Florida. He just got the outside corner, and speed took off from there, and he ran a 71-yard TD, the only touchdown of the afternoon for the starting unit of the Florida Gators. They added a garbage time touchdown later with their backups. And then Johnson with a 1-yard touchdown run, hold on one second. Cam Ward to Restrepo, Xavier Restrepo for 24 yards for a touchdown. 8 plays, 75 yards for Miami. So that's 11 for 84, touchdown, 9 for 70 field goal, 4 for 58, touchdown, 8 for 75, touchdown. We're still going. Fletcher runs it in for 1 yard. 6 plays, 75 yards, 236, touchdown. Then again, Cam Ward to George, Jacolby George, 23 yards and a touchdown. 9 plays, 86 yards. And then the final field goal, 6 plays, 37 yards, 314. So look at those scoring drives. 11 for 84, 9 for 70, 4 for 58, 8 for 75, 6 for 75, 9 for 86, and 6 for 37. You do that against the Florida Gators, an SEC team on the road in the swamp to start the season. Yeah, you're going to have a lot of high hopes. You're going to have a lot of expectations for this year with the Miami Hurricanes with a performance like this in week 1. What an incredible job by Cam Ward. What an incredible job by the offensive and defensive lines, just dominating the Florida Gators. How's that? Yeah, right there. Right there. Yeah, that's a win. That's the way you start the season. That's the way you get it going, Miami. That's the way you get it going. And now here's what you do, because they have the depth on the offensive and defensive lines that they haven't had in so long. And finally, a quarterback. The poise, the maturity, the intelligence of Cam Ward is mind-numbing. And I can tell you from watching Florida State and Georgia Tech, neither one of those teams belongs on the field with the Miami Hurricanes right now. They will mop either one of those teams. They will destroy them right now. I think this is a special year. I've been saying it all along. I work on ESPN Radio. I do shows all the time. I tell everybody who I do shows with every weekend on there, watch out for the Canes this weekend and watch out for the Canes this season. Cam Ward, Martinez, the portal power, the transfers coming in, man. NIL, transfer era, that is what really does it in football right now. College football, you can go from good to great. And remember, down the stretch when they lost all the games, down the stretch they come. After Cristobal didn't kneel on the ball, they lost all those games except for one down the stretch. The record was deceptive. The youth was there, the depth wasn't, and here they come. The storm surge all the way up through the state to the University of Florida. And what a performance by the Hurricanes today. Cam Ward, look at him there, effortless, easy. I mean, he just makes it look easy out there. Cam Cool, without a doubt, he is absolutely phenomenal. Cam the man, Portal Power as well, talking about the transfers who have come in and done amazing things for the Miami Hurricanes and deadly weapons all over the field. You're watching your Locked On Canes postcast right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. I'll be right back after these words, and we're going to talk more about the weapons, about the portal power, the lines dominating this game. You're watching your Locked On Canes postcast. What a performance by Miami. 41 points on the road at the Swamp, and they pound the Gators. First home loss to open the season for Florida in 33 years since Emmitt Smith played there. Emmitt Smith. Think about that. The all-time leading rusher in the NFL for the Dallas Cowboys. Had to throw that out there. Cowboys fan in the house. Michael Irvin, favorite player of all time, but 33 years. The Gators hadn't lost a home opener. It's the most points they've ever allowed in a home opener. The excitement is high. We've been starving for a long time. Let's go. CANES Canes, rise up. I think it's our year. Let's go. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. Got to get to the break. Be right back with more on the Locked On Podcast Network, Locked On Canes postcast. And I have to tell you about Factor right now. Fuel up with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. Meet your wellness goals thanks to the menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great tasting meals. Make today the day. I mean, people always take time and you procrastinate. No, make today the day that you kickstart a new healthy routine. What are you waiting for? I've done it. If you see the before and after pictures on my social media at @JimGrease_, you'll see my transformation. With 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week, you'll always have new flavors to explore with Factor. And that's something that's really important because when you're trying to get healthy, the taste, the flavors, they're everything. You want variety. It's the spice of life. Sometimes it gets a little plain, but not with them. Crush your wellness goals this May with dietitian-approved meals and ingredients that you can trust. Make your day delicious. Breakfast to dessert. Stay fueled with easy nutrition options, and that's from Factor Meals. Man, I'll tell you, you could treat yourself to restaurant-quality meals that feature premium ingredients like filet mignon, shrimp, and blackened salmon. Keep kitchen time to a minimum with Factor Meals. They're ready in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Really, think about it, 120 seconds. No shopping, prepping, cooking, no cleaning up, and you can enjoy that effortless support for your lifestyle, right? You're busy trying to make that cash. You can choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat, or simply eat well-balanced. And what you're going to do is head to factormeals.com/LockedOnCollege50 and use code LockedOnCollege50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code LockedOnCollege50 at factormeals.com/LockedOnCollege50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active with Factor. Also want to tell you about what it takes to be a champion. The Miami Hurricanes know a thing or two about that. Mario Cristobal definitely knows a thing or two about that. It takes passion. It takes drive. It takes patience. We've had a lot of patience with these Hurricanes, have we not? For years now. That's the formula for winning championships. Well, guess what else it is? It's also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors is going to do it for you. They have everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. We got superchargers, we got roof racks, we got exhaust kits, we got LED headlights, everything you can imagine, whether you're into speed, power, style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your parts guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back, right back in your pocket, right? Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. There we go. All right, we'll stick that up there for eBay. For some reason, it's stuck, and it didn't go up there when sometimes they stick a little bit when those overlays get put up there. So we'll leave that up there for eBay Motors. Millions of parts for your MVP. And who's the MVP today for the Miami Hurricanes? Man, what an incredible job by this team today. Mario Cristobal and the coaching staff had these kids ready to play, man. They go up to Gainesville looking like an NFL team. You look at them during the pregame warmups, they weren't whooping around, they weren't screaming, they weren't yelling, they weren't talking smack. They were focused from the jump. They had that offensive lineman focus from Mario Cristobal. And this just, I want to say this, Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease, Locked On Canes Postcast. We're here every week after your Hurricanes games. We'll be here after every Dolphins game too. And I'll tell you what, with Kyle and Alex and myself, I think we have the best coverage of football anywhere, let alone on the network or anywhere. Literally, Alex is the network postgame host for WQAM in Miami. Kyle Crabb's one of the best NFL guys, fantasy guys, draft guys out there, does Locked On Dolphins. And then myself, I just get to come in for the postcast and kill it for you at the end. But 41-17, man, it is unbelievable when you think about that score. Remember 41-16 in 2002? And I asked Alex this earlier today. Hey, where were you in 2002 when we went up there and smashed them 41-16 with Dorsey? And it started that run with McGahee and Andre Johnson and that whole team. Remember, they had won the national championship, and then they went to UF to start the next season. And what happened then? Hey, same thing that happened in the Sugar Bowl a couple of years before that when they got absolutely smoked. And by the way, it was interesting. You see Colby Young scored a touchdown today for Georgia. He could have still been on this Miami team. Absolutely crazy, right? Absolutely crazy when you think about the guys who have come into this team and the difference that they made today, starting with Cam Ward from Washington State, all those years, all those starts, all those times when he said, hey, I wish I didn't go to Washington State. I wish I was at a school like Miami. I wish I had an offensive line. I wish I had NFL weapons on the outside. Well, this year he does. With the portal, with the NILs, Cam Ward is finally able to do what a lot of quarterbacks before him were never able to, not be trapped at a program that wasn't maximizing his talents and wasn't putting the team around him. And, you know, you get a chance to win and you go. And that's what kids should be able to do. I love the portal. Damian Martinez from Oregon State coming in. You know what I mean? Just an unbelievable haul for the Miami Hurricanes coming in. The transfers, they have done so well with the portal coming in this year. And we go all of them all day long. And there's so many of them that transferred in this year. And with the portal, you're going to lose some. You know what I mean? It really is interesting. And when you look at the recruiting and the classes, 2 really good classes in a row for Mario Cristobal. So just Ward and Martinez alone coming in would be one thing. But, I mean, you got a bunch of others that came in this year for the Miami Hurricanes. It really is incredible when you think about it. When you think about Cam Ward and the experience, the number of starts, the number of games, the number of drives, the number of times, and the death of the Pac-12 is real, but the number of times he's been able to win games in that conference, shootouts, put up huge numbers. And they said to him at Miami, you might not put up the same numbers when you get here that you put up in Washington State. You know what I'm saying? It really is. You don't know. You just don't know numbers-wise. But he wants to win. He wants to play on the next level. He's NFL ready. He's the best quarterback the Hurricanes have had in a long time. And they were very active. They were one of the most active teams in the portal with Cam Ward and Damian Martinez. You know, he had 65 yards rushing today. Mark Fletcher entering his second season going along with Martinez, you know, and how about Sam Brown from Houston? And he replaced Colby Young, who scored today for Georgia. And either way, you're good because Sam Brown's pretty dang good. He's a pretty dang good. And he was Shannon Dawson's guy in Houston. The offensive coordinator came over with him. And, you know, Matt Lee, the center's gone. Zach Carpenter came in. They're just guys that come in for the Canes. You know, Barrow Jr. from Michigan State. There's a lot of guys who came in, and I could sit here and name all of them, but they've done great in the portal. They've done amazing with their last 2 recruiting classes. Dare I say, shades of Butch Davis. Dare I say, shades of Butch Davis turning this thing around the way they did. I was there. I was producing the Butch Davis show, graduating college. Right when he came in, I produced his show the first year he coached at the U, Butch Davis, when he came back. And you saw those recruits come out. I remember watching Nate Webster and Edgerrin James and Damian Lewis coming in and going, oh, baby. And then the baby Canes were growing up. And through the years, they got better. and better. And the year they lost to Washington in the opener and then rolled Florida at the end, they had one loss that year, one loss to Ohio State 2 years later, and every game in between they won. This looks like the beginning. And I know I'm starving. I know it could be a reach, but tell me you don't feel this right now. Tell me you're not feeling this right now. Tell me it doesn't look like that. Tell me this does not look like the beginning of Butch Davis's era in Coral Gables, where even Larry Coker, and I love you, Larry, I'm sorry, but where even Larry Coker could win a national championship as head coach at the University of Miami. We'll give you an update on Bain in a minute. Remember, colleges, they don't always tell you as much with the injuries. So there we go. There we go. Can't even believe what I saw. What's up, Kane Thing 24? Dono is doing Locked On Canes every day. I'm doing the postcast. But you're gonna see Dono in just a minute here on the show. After I hit the break, I'm gonna play a clip because I have to play this from Alex Dono. I will stay on the air all day long until I figure out how to load this. Someone help me. But yeah, man, loaded. Looking good offensively, defensively, the portal power, the deadly weapons all over the field. Restrepo is a beast. This team is going to score a ton of points, but they do it with poise. It's a pro style. They pound the ball offensively, defensively, studs on the line. And I don't know about you, but I thought the secondary looked pretty good against Graham Mertz. And that was maybe one of the areas that we were concerned about coming into this season was the secondary. It looks like that may be a secondary concern. You see what I just did there? Look at the Danielle Ferguson jersey from 1995, by the way. Big East, baby. Big East. Danielle Ferguson, 1,000-yard rusher. D-Ferg. What do you guys know about all that, right? When Ray Lewis was still there back then. If you remember that, when we went to UCLA and lost the opener to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Jonathan Ogden, that's how long ago this jersey has been on my back. And look at that. It's been about this long. Our dreams, our hopes, our desires for national championships have been as tattered as this jersey, but not anymore. Man, I picked a good season to come back and do Locked On Canes. Jim Greasehopper, call me Grease. Shades of the U? I'll explain what that question means when we come back. Best in the ACC? Pfft, come on. When we're the University of Miami and we've ever talked about winning a conference championship in the Big East, I can't even do it. It's backwards, whatever. Big East or the ACC, that is an embarrassment. It's an abomination. Thank you, Donna Shalala. Long gone. Long gone. Let's go. Let's get this thing back, and let's do it now. You're watching your Locked On Canes postcast. Jim Greasehopper, call me Grease. I'm excited, man. I'm like Buddy Love right now. Sherman Klump's been sleeping for a long time. Nutty Professor reference. We'll wrap it up on the other side. The clip from Alex Dono. Man, Alex was all over this when we talked earlier today. I'm going to play that clip, and I'm going to gas him up because he deserves it. We have a real stud doing Locked On Canes, and Alex and I have known each other forever. This is going to be a lot of fun. Jim Greasehopper, call me Grease. Canes 41. Gators 17. Let me say it again. Canes 41. Gators 17. Worst home loss in the opener ever for UF. Least number of points they've scored at home in their opener ever, and their first home opening loss in 33 years since Emmitt Smith was the running back. You are watching Locked On Canes postcast. Jim Greasehopper, call me Grease. Going to wrap it up right here on the other side. And that's after I tell you about, where are we here? Where are we? Okay, there we go. We'll tell you about 5-Hour Energy, and I have used 5-Hour Energy a lot over the years, being a radio and TV guy and staying up late, getting up early, all sorts of things. You know what I mean? So look, you're watching sports, and I'm going to use this one today because you grab a 5-Hour Energy shot to stay alert, watch all your favorite games. You got TVs everywhere. Maybe you got a few bets in. Maybe you have teams, fantasy, whatever the case may be. If you stayed up late, it's the weekend, it's a holiday, you got to take a 5-Hour Energy shot in the morning to start your day, watch football all day. I don't need a shot right now because I took one this morning, and it was phenomenal. Gets you in the zone, gives you the feeling of alertness and energy you need to whip the Florida Gators all over their own field. That's right. 5-Hour Energy fixes tired fast. Get in the zone with 5-Hour Energy. With zero sugar in a convenient portable size, it's the perfect pick-me-up for getting stuff done. The 5-Hour Energy website has flavors galore. Watermelon, tropical burst, grape berry, and there is a flavor for everyone, man. Try them all. Find yours. On the site, you even have the option to build your own 12-pack or 24-pack so you can never be tired again. You choose the flavors, and you choose what is delivered right to your door. If you go to 5hourenergy.com, that's the number 5, Short Circuit. Remember that movie? 5hourenergy.com. Get some 5-Hour Energy product today. Do it now because I told you to, and that's my job. You can use my promo code. How about that? I'm even going to give you mine. Locked On CFB. LOCKEDON CFB. Locked On CFB. Receive 20% off your order. The offer is only valid until September 30th on one order and cannot be used with other promotions. The code is not good on subscription orders. Go to 5hourenergy.com today. All right, here we go. College football is back, and it's not too late to catch up before the season kicks off. SEC, ACC, Big 10, Big 12. You can get it all from Locked On stable of college experts by subscribing to the Locked On College Football Podcast. That's right. Who has a chance to make the playoff? What teams will cause chaos in their new conferences? Everything you need to know, all in one place. Be sure to follow and subscribe to the Locked On College Football Podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every single day. Locked On Canes postcast, Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease. I'm doing the best I can to get this Alex Donald clip in here. And I swear to you, I did everything right today. And I'm going to get this done before the end of the show because Alex was absolutely phenomenal today. There's background music spot, video clip. Add video clip. See that? I've only been in broadcasting for 30 plus years. Add the video clip, Jim, right? So where is the clip? And we add it right now because I'm going to play this because Alex Dono is the man, and you should watch him every day. Alex used to work a show with me in Miami on 790 The Ticket years and years ago. He's the post-game host on WQAM for the Canes. Having him is a huge luxury and a big advantage for you and for us, of course, but for you. So I'm going to upload the video of Alex and I today. We talked before the game, and I asked him a couple of questions on his keys to the game, and I want to let you know that you should be watching Locked On Canes every single day with Alex Donald, the podcast, and then Kyle with Locked On Dolphins. Season opener next week. We got FAMU at home next Saturday, then the Dolphins with Tua, with the 4x100 relay team, with 3 running backs running a sub 4.540, with Hill, with Waddle, with everybody on that team. OBJ's not going to play the first 4 games. Not going to matter. The Dolphins are going to have a great year too. Canes, Dolphins this year with Kyle, with Alex, with myself. Man, it is going to be a fun year in football starved South Florida. Starving, eating your fingers, eating your You'd be a cannibal. I mean, I'm ready. Orange and green. I'm so tired year in and year out of the season being over early. Thank you, Mario. I worked with Mario for a year. I did pregame, halftime, postgame for FIU 2007. And I'll tell you what, I knew he would be back. And I told him he would be. He didn't think he would be. He ended up at Oregon. He ends up coming back to the U. Thank God for Mario Cristobal. Thank God. When you guys, all you numbskulls, I almost said something else, all you numbskulls last year were ripping him for not falling on the ball. And I'm like, if this dude leaves, you don't want Al Golden again. Do you? Do you want Al Golden again? No. You want Mario Cristobal. He's going to win a national championship here. He is going to win a national championship here at the University of Miami. And I'm waiting for this video to finish processing because I'm going to finish the show and then wrap it at the end. But I want to play this this clip from Alex Dono, who was all over it today, talking about the Canes. And we started with Cam Ward. And hopefully this video is going to finish processing and be done here soon because it was absolutely a lot of fun. And we're going to be working with each other a lot this season. I'll be on their shows. They'll be on mine. Kyle and Alex and I, Locked On Dolphins, Locked On Canes, and the 2 postcasts. Oh, man, that triangle. It's the Rock in here. You know what I'm saying? Get those chains on. Throw your diamonds in the sky if you feel the vibe, because that's what you got right here with Locked On Dolphins, Locked On Canes, Alex, and myself. And come on, keep on. It's still processing, right? But what a game for Cam Ward. He threw a bad pick, and then they had the one big run that they gave up. Other than that, it's 50-6 in this game. And here comes Alex Dono before the game, your host of Locked On Canes that you should be watching every single. He's my guy. Shout out to Alex, right? So, Alex, before the show, I started this with Cam Ward, and I believe I included the question. This is the first time I've actually played a video clip on one of my Locked On shows. In my defense, I've been doing Locked On Marlins postcast all year, and you know what kind of year that's been. But if you love the Marlins, I'll be doing the postcast later tonight right here on Locked On. Let's take a look at Alex Dono with me earlier today. This is an exclusive, something you haven't seen yet on the postcast, but it'll show you the kind of analysis you're going to get from Alex and the stuff you're going to get from us with these teams this year. Here we go. My concern with him is his road record at Washington State, right? 5 in a row losses away from home for him. And he's taking that with him. That streak is active, right? And the swamp being what it is, Joe Burrow, Joe Milton, Bo Nix, all those guys struggled in their first game there. How real is that for Cam Ward today?
I wonder about that, and my counter argument would be that in most of his road games, Cam Ward was putting up really big numbers, like over 300, over 400 yards in some of those cases. So I have to kind of wonder if, obviously, any starting quarterback is going to take those stats, good or bad, with them. So and so has this amazing road record, or so and so has this terrible road record. But I would just go to, if you think about what Cam Ward had around him, specifically an offensive line that was bottom 4th in the country in pass protection, he was still putting up numbers and playing well under pressure. So I feel like that's maybe more of a team stat in this case than it was an individual stat, because I would say for Cam Ward, the individual, the quarterback, he's shown a lot of poise in road games. Now, I know people will look at, hey, he's turned the ball over a number of times in the last couple of years. It was more of a fumbling issue than an interceptions issue. So hopefully working on ball security and having better pass protection, Miami is going to help him cut down on the fumbles.
Really good offensive line. Last one, Alex. Florida's won 33 straight home openers, right? And they're mostly Cupcake City. This is not a cupcake, and this is a big, big game for them in Gainesville, and specifically for their coach and their quarterback. I mean, it's really make or break year, as bad as they've been. What are the keys to this game today for Miami to come away with the victory?
Well, take care of the football. I've got to throw it out there. It's very obvious to throw it out there. So you have to think about that, because if you start turning it over at the Swamp, things could get ugly quickly. And also, don't expect Florida to cough the football up too much, because something that their quarterback Graham Mertz excels at is taking care of the football. Doesn't take a lot of risks and shots downfield, but he is efficient in the short passing game. So taking care of the football is a big one. At a road environment like this, because the Swamp is one of the toughest to play in America, I think scoring early, scoring first, getting the crowd out of the game a little bit, I think is going to be really important. And winning in the trenches. I think Miami, a team in the ACC that's starting to resemble more of an SEC roster when you talk about just the sheer size and strength of the players on the offensive and defensive lines. If you want to go into hostile territory and upset a team in the SEC, I believe Miami has to win those battles on the offensive and defensive line, and I believe they can. And if they can do that, when they do that, good things should happen for Miami and Gainesville.
Do you remember what you were doing on September 7th, 2002, Alex Donald? Do you remember? Because I remember I was watching the Miami Hurricanes dominate and destroy the Florida Gators in the Swamp, 41-16. This game to me feels a lot like that.
Yeah, I was watching the game at a friend's house who is actually a Gators fan, and I can remember a couple major things about that performance. Number one, when Maurice Sykes had that pick six that was a 14-point swing because Florida was in the red zone. He picked it off, I think, in the end zone or close to it, and ran it all the way back the other way.
99 yards.
I almost got kicked out of my friend's house for celebrating the way that I did. So I will never forget that. I will never forget that game and that season, which was really Willis McGahee's coming out party en route to, a Heisman candidate, Heisman finalist type season that he had. And so, yeah, I will never forget where I was, and I will never forget how upset my friend was, big Gators fan, whose house I was at watching that game. It's something I think that was when the first time I ever trolled anybody was that day.
That one and the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans and the Brock Berlin game, his first start at the Orange Bowl. There's some good history, Alex. Anything else you want to say real quick before we wrap this?
Well, I want to say you're doing an incredible job, and your passion for Miami Hurricanes football and Miami Hurricanes athletics is unquestioned. It's nice to have another alum on board, and let's kill it this year. And I don't mean just you and me. Mario Cristobal on the team, let's all crush it this year.
I'd say it's a hell of a start, wouldn't you? When I said to Alex Donald before this game felt a lot like 2002, guess what the score was in 2002? 41-16. Today it was 41-17. I was off by a point. 1 point. I saw it coming. Alex saw it coming. That's the kind of analysis that you get from Alex Donald. You everydayers know this day in and day out on the Locked On Podcast Network. Kyle does the same with Dolphins. Alex and I were talking earlier. We're geeks for Kyle, man. We watch him, everything he did. The dude's unbelievable. So those two guys, I come in with the postcast, and it's going to be a great year. And the last thing that Alex said, right, about, hey, Mario Cristobal and the Miami Hurricanes on the road, and what a year it could be for them. They had to score early to set the tone on the road. They went in there, and they not only scored early, they controlled the game. They seized it. They took control of the door from the second they walked in. It became their house. Twan Russell, what's up, T? One of the great Hurricane linebackers, right? I used to travel with Twan, used to do shows and stuff with him. And he used to be on the road when he played at Miami. I'm on the field at Memphis in 1996 when Edgerrin James played his first game and scored his first career touchdown. That's how long ago that was. Twan Russell was on the field pregame going, I want my rent payment. I want my rent payment. This is our house. This is our house. The Miami Hurricanes have not been able to feel that way about any place they've played in about that long, with the exception of the 1999 to 02-03 run. We can feel that way again. 1995, this jersey, busted it out today. Special occasion because I knew. Did you know? Did you know? Because I did. Alex did. You got to watch them every day. It's going to be great. Locked On Canes, the podcast, Locked On Canes postcast next Saturday when FAMU and the band of the hour comes in. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of fun, too, the band of the hour. But what a performance by the Canes today in all facets of the ball. Before we get out of here, going to give you a couple of updates. 385 and 3 touchdowns for cool, calm, collected Cam Ward. 41-17, signature win to start the third year for Mario Cristobal at Miami. Controlled both sides of the line of scrimmage. And Billy Napier, I would not want to be him. Right now, he's 11-15 and Gainesville, and he's got a terrible record against ranked opponents. 10. He's got a murder schedule this year. Yeah, bye-bye, Billy. I can't say I feel bad. He's a Florida Gator, right? So a $25 million buyout, though, for the Gators. Remember when we were in this position? Not anymore. It's amazing, right? Year 3 is amazing right now. Ward, the former Washington State, when you come to Miami from Washington State, can you imagine, preseason player of the year in the ACC before he ever put on a uniform? And we saw why today. First Miami quarterback since 1979 at 300 yards in his first start with the team. Scott Covington, 295 against Boston College in 1996. And that was over 45 seasons. How about Restrepo? And 7 catches, 112, and the touchdown. 23-yarder in the back of the end zone to Jacolby George as well. Graham Mertz was injured for Florida, and he was drilled while throwing a pick late in the game. DJ Lagway came in and led a touchdown drive. Mertz, 11 of 20 for 91 yards. Here's the update you've all been waiting for in the chat. How else was I going to keep you here till the end of the show? It's called good broadcasting. Miami star defense. And are you ready? Everybody hold their breath. Ruben Bain left the field after the first series and never returned. He had 7.5 sacks last season and was projected to be one of the best defenders in the country as a sophomore. We don't have an update on the injury yet. I'm waiting. I'm trying to get it. Alex, if you have it, please hit me up. But he's on the air on the radio. So there you go. But, yeah, the Hurricanes might have their best quarterback since Ken Dorsey, and Florida A&M next Saturday coming into the Orange Bowl. So I thought I could give you a little bit more, and this is I'm reading this directly, and everywhere I'm looking right now. So Ruben Bain, I'm going to try one more time before I get on out here to get you that injury update. Ruben Bain injury. No, injured during the opening drive. No, nothing yet. But keep coming back to the channels and we'll have those updates for you. Locked On Canes postcast. They have not updated it yet. We've gone way long on the show. We're 8 minutes over, but the numbers are huge. The audience is here. And you know what? We had to play that clip from Alex Donald because we have to let you know the kind of insight, kind of knowledge that's going to be dropped here on Locked On Sports Miami with the Canes, with the Dolphins, with Alex, with Kyle, with myself. And I just want to say congratulations to Mario Cristobal and to this group of players, because it's been a long time in that building before you could feel like you've had a winner, before you could feel like a competitor. They're looking like the best team in the ACC right now. I've been starving for so long. I got a gluttonous feast in front of me. I'm going to enjoy every second of it. I hope that you will too. Hold up those 4, baby. Hold up those 4s, because it's going to be a fun year this year. In those fourth quarters, there's going to be a lot of games won late by the Miami Hurricanes, and there's going to be a lot of fun watching Cam Ward. And the only thing you're going to wish is that you can have him for longer, but who cares? You know, you're just happy you have him while you do. That's all there is, Canes fans. There is no more. That's my tribute to my mentor, the Mad Dog, Jim Manage. He and Jeff DeForest did so much for me in my career, and I love you, Jim. And Jim would be proud of this University of Miami Hurricanes team today, even though he was still a Michigan guy, but Miami's better than Michigan this year, no doubt about it so far. Anyway, next week, FAMU will be on the air right after. Dolphins open up on Sunday. Trevor Lawrence coming in to face Tua and the Finns with the Jaguars, and we will be here after that game as well as finishing up the regular season with your Marlins. The Heat will be after that, but don't forget Locked On Dolphins, Locked On Canes every single day with Kyle and Alex. And as if you need anything else with this embarrassment of riches that is the Locked On Podcast Network, thank you for making us first listen today. Now, go check out Locked On College Football Podcast, from NIL deals to never-ending conference alignment rumors. Say it 5 times fast. Spencer McLaughlin gets you ready for an exciting season on the gridiron. You can find the link to Locked On College Football in this description, so you don't need to search. Part of the Podcast Network, your team every single day. I'll do a show for 7 hours today, so I have to cut it short now. Thank you so much for being here. Let me just check in the chat one more time. You know what I'm saying? Hey, right now, I'm telling you, and I've told everybody coming in, all over ESPN, all over Locked On, all over everywhere, the Miami Hurricanes are a force to be reckoned with this year. The storm was brewing a long time ago. They went up to Gainesville with an emphatic opening day win. Not to say the Gators are the Gators of old. I'm not acting like they just beat Georgia. I don't want to make it like that, because you got a long way to go before you reach the elite again. But you see that rise. You see those Butch Davis-like signs when all those kids like Santana Moss and Andre King and Darryl Jones and Portis and all those guys were coming in, the young guys, when they started playing. And they lost that game to Penn State when Ed Reed let Chaffee Fields get behind him, when Ed Reed was a sophomore, never made another mistake in 3 more years at the U. But when they were babies, they made the mistakes on the field, and then they grew. But they didn't have the transfer portal. Oh, Lord, if Butch Davis had the transfer portal, we might have won 8 in a row. I'm not kidding. If Butch Davis and Pete Carroll had the transfer portal back-to-back with Miami, and I don't think Butch Davis would have ever left Miami for the Browns at that. And I said this, and I'll leave you with this. Before the game today with Alex Dono, I said it, and I said it reminds me of 2022. I think it's the exact same game. 2022 was 41-16, or 2002. And then 22 years later, 41-17 to open the season. It's going to be a special year in Coral Gables. I can't wait. Keep it here. Locked On, your Locked On Canes postcast every single week, and Locked On Canes podcast every single day with the Dolphins as well. I'm finally going to end this show. I don't want to, but they're making me, and they're going to tell me, hey, man, you're 10 minutes over. But it was worth it today for this game and this show. That's all there is, Fish fans. There is no more. Canes fans, I should say. I'm used to the Marlins show. Jim Reese Hopper, call me Reese right here on Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day, 41-17. Chomp that, Gators. We'll be back next week against FAMU right here after that game with the Locked On Canes postcast at Jim Grease _ on social media. We'll have shorts up and all week long with Alex on Locked On Canes podcast. Keep your game tight and your mind right, Cane fans. Enjoy the rest of the holiday weekend after that ass whooping. 41-17, Miami beats Florida in the season opener. Let's go. We'll talk to you next week with your Locked On Canes postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.